Hello and welcome to Leadership Satsang. I'm your leadership coach, Yukti Kapoor Bhendirata. Thank you so much for joining in this week. This is the Rakhi week in India. We celebrate this festival. It's a festival of love, love between the siblings, love that should grow as we grow older in life. And I'm sure it does for many of you out there. But instead of going deeper into that space, I thought let's just take our attention towards the love and connection we need to establish in our professional relationships as well. Isn't that important? After all, we'll end up spending all our waking hours, almost all our waking hours, with people who we work with, people in our office, people at workplace. So if we learn to create a safe space there, if we learn as leaders to help people to open up, to be themselves, we will definitely be able to get the results that we want, the results that we're expected to get of them. Let's spend some time thinking of how can that be possible? How can we create a bond, a sense of belongingness with people who work with us, people we work with? But that's on the other side of this very simple yet powerful practice called chanting that we all do together every week. I am sure you brought it into your life already. It is just so amazingly simple to be in the moment whenever you want. There are many ways to do that. One of which is to chant Om for as long as you can, but definitely about 5 to 10 times. And it just immediately takes away everything else from this moment and brings you in here completely. And that's what we need to do every single time you prepare yourself to learn anything. Right? Since we're here to learn how to create that space of safety, how to create that sense of belongingness, let's first create the space for learning. May I please invite you to close your eyes, readjust yourself if you need to, and take a nice deep breath in. Please make sure that your spine is straight, your shoulders are relaxed. You close your eyes, take a nice deep breath in. And it might have been a long day. It might have been a crazy day for some of you, or an easy day perhaps. But everything that's happened before this moment has happened already. And in every moment, you showed up. You showed up with the intent to be a better you. And you did your best to bring that side of you. And as you prepare yourself to be here in this moment completely, let's give it our best again by bringing our attention to our breathing and feeling the sensation as you breathe in and out through your nose. Take a nice deep breath in and breathe out. Breathe in and out once again. And with the next breath in, we will chant Om 5 times. I will keep the count for you. You just exhale for as long as you can as you chant Om. Breathe in. Shanti. 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 And whenever you're ready, please rub your hands together and gently place them on your face, your eyes, your cheeks, your neck, and your entire body, and slowly come back. Come back and tell me if you're here in this moment completely and which part of the world are you connecting from. Please bring that out in the comments as I take you through this learning that can help us to create the space that we all want. For a moment, I want you to imagine that you go to your office tomorrow and the place doesn't look the same anymore. There is this amazingly deep sense of safety that you experience. You're completely at ease. And you know that you can just be yourself and not be judged. You know that you belong to this place. And as you imagine such a moment for yourself, see how much it means to you to be able to get that feeling someday, to be able to truly belong to this space where you work, where you spend almost all your waking hours, where you try to prove yourself every single day with the intent to find your purpose in the middle of it all. What if you could bring in complete ease in the way you work? Would you like that or love that? Give me like or love in the comments. Would you love to be completely at ease? Would you love to have that deep sense of safety and belongingness with people who you work with closely, with that place you call as your office, where you go every single morning and come back home all exhausted? Would you like to experience that at your workplace? Would you like it or love it? Give me like or love in the chat, please. I'm sure you would love it, because this is what brings in what we call as psychological safety. Psychological safety is the foundation of our mental well-being. You know, Brené Brown once said that love and belongingness is an irreducible need for all of us as humans. Even if you look at Maslow's hierarchy, right? We've all studied that. A psychologist called Abraham Maslow came up with a hierarchy explaining what's really important for people, for humans. And right at the bottom of that pyramid is roti kapda makan, right? Your food and shelter. And above that is what? Security, safety. And just above that is love and belongingness. So after you've taken care of how you're going to pay your bills and the fact that you have a roof on your head and 3 meals in a day, what is the next thing you need? You need to feel secure. You need to feel safe. And in the modern context, this safety is not just limited to physical safety, because we're not in a jungle anymore. Nobody's attacking you from anywhere. But we do feel attacked all day, isn't it? Here, in our head, we feel attacked. We always on our tenterhooks, always with these walls that guard us, protect us, as if God knows what's out there to eat us raw. That's the sentiment with which we are passing every single day of our life. That sense of insecurity is exhausting, isn't it? Give me agree in the chat if you agree that it is so exhausting to just keep feeling this sense of insecurity, this sense of lack of safety, this need to be accepted as who you are, which is so missing. And that's just all we want, isn't it? Give me a big yes in caps if that's true. If that's what you want as well, to be accepted as who you are, to be seen as who you are, to have that sense of belongingness, to fit in. And we're doing so many different things to be able to fit in, to be accepted, to be a part of this clan that we work with. We sometimes worry about how we dress up. Can we dress up in a way that's more accepting of us? Can we speak in a way that's more accepting of us? What can I do about my behavior that can make people accept me the way I am, that can make people give me that love and belongingness I so desire? Isn't that true? Isn't that what you long for somewhere deep inside? And that's the direction in which all our efforts go, isn't it? Give me a big yes in all caps if I'm talking to you right now as I share this, because you know what? I have no doubt that as I say this, I'm talking to every single person out there, because all of us want this. All of us desire love and belongingness. All of us want a space where we can feel safe. But here is the irony. As much as we all want this, somehow we're not able to create this for other people. And that is why there are people like you and me who don't feel this way. Think about what I'm saying. There's a paradox here, right? We all want this, and yet we don't have it. Why? Because there are other people who are like us only, who also want this. And yet we're just not able to create the space. In fact, if I were to refer to a survey, there's a survey done by Gallup in 2019 that confirmed that out of every 10 people, only 3 strongly believe or agree that they're able to speak their mind out, that they're able to share their opinions. Are you listening to this? That means 7 out of 10 people don't feel safe to say what they truly mean. And there could be multiple reasons for that. But all of it boils down to what? Not feeling safe enough to say it. For whatever reason. Whatever other reasons, whether it's my shyness or your cruelty or lack of understanding or politics, or the list goes on and on. But basically, many of us are holding ourselves back from playing to our true potential because we don't feel safe at our workplace. We don't feel safe to be who we are. We are not sure if we can speak our mind out. And if you're not doing that, how are we expected to contribute? How are we expected to bring out our best if I'm not even saying what I want to say? I either choose to not say anything or say what you want me to say. In either case, you've not got the best of me. I've not been able to contribute in a meaningful way, isn't it? Which means creating this safe space is a business interest. It's not some kind of charity that you're doing or some kind of social service or trying to be saintly. It is a very simple, direct business need for us to be able to create this sense of deep security and safety at our workplace. Are we all getting this? Are you with me? Give me with you in the comments, please. If you agree to the fact that it is not just about being a better person for which you should work on making people feel safe, it has a direct connection with the results you're expected to get as a leader. So before I share with you, how can you create that space? I'm quite curious to bring out some of the reasons why I think it is not being created as yet. Given that you want it and I want it and everybody wants this safe space, this sense of belongingness, it's missing. Why? I've put down maybe 4 reasons that come to my mind, okay? And you feel free to share what do you think is the reason why people out there, people like you and me, are not able to create this safe space that we all want. The first thing that comes to my mind is ego, right? Ego and the power dynamics that are played at workplace. So the ego tells the leader that the leader needs to make his or her presence felt. So you've got to be a taskmaster. You've got to be a tough nut. You've got to be the one who everybody listens to. So you don't have to waste your time helping people understand what you already know. So you will save yourself that energy, that hassle, that effort to really explain things in detail. You will be loud enough for people to feel snubbed and follow what you want them to follow. And that is true. Many of us lead with ego. Many of us get stuck with these power dynamics, which takes away that sense of safety, right? So what we forget in this leadership journey is that leadership is not about status. It's about service. But very soon the service is out of the window. And what remains as our focus is to maintain that status. And a part of us somehow believe that maintaining that status is about being the loudest in the room, is about making sure that you call the shots. After all, you have a title to support that need. that ask, that desire, that demand, isn't it? And as I share these reasons, I would invite you to do a very honest and quick self assessment right here with me. Only then it's fun to do these sessions, isn't it? Otherwise, it's all gyan. And trust me, as much as I don't enjoy receiving gyan, I don't enjoy giving either. What I want to do is open up something there for you. And that can only happen when you jump in with me. All right, are you ready? Give me ready in the chat. Please give me ready in the comments that you're ready to dive in with me. You're not just taking this as some kind of theoretical notes, right? Not needed at all. Let's just do this exploration together. Let's be in this together. Is it your ego? Is it the power dynamics that comes in your way to create that sense of safety for other people who you lead? The second reason that comes to my mind is insecurity and fear to be vulnerable yourself. Now, here is the thing. People who are mediocre are the ones who are more insecure. You know why? Because when you start listening to other people, when you start creating this safe space for other people, they will open up, they will share their thoughts. And someone who is mediocre, who is average and knows it, will always have this fear to be outshined by other people. Right? Maybe someone junior to you is making more sense, is probably more knowledgeable, is able to contribute in a more meaningful way. And so because of that sense of insecurity, we decide to call the shots ourselves. We create that little fear in the system. And the fear is created in multiple ways. I could create dire consequences. I could be aggressive. I could use my body language. I could be intimidating. And we have seen all of this in our own corporate career. Isn't that true? Have you? Just say I have in the chat if you have witnessed somebody doing any and all of this to drive you, to lead you with fear, because there is that sense of insecurity within them. Right? The third thing that I see is this whole misconception about softness. Oh, creating space is about being soft. You got to be tough to lead meaningfully. This softness doesn't work, which I think is a ridiculous thought. It's a myth that creating a safe space or creating a space where people trust each other is being soft. Believing that you can either build in a sense of belongingness or drive high performing teams. That's a myth. They're not opposite to each other. They, in fact, reinforce each other. When you create space for trust, when you create a space of safety, when you create that sense of belongingness, it gives you better results. So let's get out of that myth and see if you catch yourself there. That, okay, have I been thinking that being soft is actually a negative point? That, you need to be a tough taskmaster. You need to focus on getting the results. And that is what matters. And that's what leadership is about. So what I'm trying to challenge here is the fact that bringing in that sense of safety and belongingness will help you to get better results. It's not the other way around. Let's look at the fourth reason that I see why we are not creating what we all need is high pressure environment, right? Sometimes it's that high pressure, in that high pressure zone, or because you're stuck with your own old habits of operating the way you operate, you land up being the boss, being the dominating one, being the one who suppresses everybody else in the name of your title and position. So when the pressure is high, you get into that command and control mode. That, okay, now I will do and you will follow. I will say and you will follow. And that's again where we've not created any space for people to be, for people to share. Now, you know what? I want to say this loud and clear. Asking people to share, asking people to contribute is not as time consuming as it sounds. It sounds time consuming to the one who has never practiced it. Because when you start practicing, you realize that it in fact helps you to save time, because you don't know everything. And here I am talking to somebody out there who has maybe 45 years or 145 years of experience. You don't know everything because no one does. And that's the reason why we have teams, isn't it? So when we have a team, when we create a team, when we take all that time and effort to handpick the best talent from the industry, We are letting them go waste if they are not allowed to open their mouth and open their mind and share what they feel or think. And they will only do that if you as a leader has learned how to create that sense of safety, how to create that space where people can actually come up with their honest feelings and thoughts. And that will save you time, because it will save all the trouble of going the wrong way till you find the right one. Make sense? Give me MS in the chat, please, if it makes sense to you. And as I share these 4 broad reasons, I would be happy to hear from you. What do you think are some of the reasons why, despite wanting this safe space that we all want, we fail to create it when we come together? What outside of these 4 reasons are some of the reasons you witnessed with your experience? And while you put your thoughts together on that, let me quickly share with you 5 C's to create that space. And before the 5 C's comes the 1 W, and that W is willingness. Your willingness to do it. That's where it all starts and stops. If you don't have the willingness, nothing of what I'm about to share is of any use. Given that you're willing, that's the reason why you joined this session today. Let me share with you 5 C's. Okay, the first C is care. Care means keeping people first. Care for what people have to say. Care for the contribution that they can make, for which they are hired, for which they have, they have you as their leader and you have them in your team. So care to listen. Care to put people first. The second C is communication. Keep your communication open. Keep your communication in more ask mode than tell mode. Because when you are telling, you can only tell what you already know. When you're asking, you're open to listen. Then you're listening. So you ask, you listen, and then appreciate. Appreciate what makes sense. Appreciate the other person's courage to share something out of the box at the cost of sounding stupid. Because you know what? The world is changed only because of those who had the courage to sound stupid to others. Isn't it? At one point, any creative idea sounds silly. And then there is somebody who has the courage to stand by it and say, you know what, it sounds silly today, I get that, but let's find a way to make this happen. Let's make it a reality. So welcome these stupid comments. Create that open communication. The third C is culture. A culture where people can fail. A culture where there is acceptance of the mistakes that people can make. Because if people are not making mistakes in your team, let me tell you, they're not trying hard enough. In fact, they're not trying at all. They're playing a safe bet. They are only repeating what's already proven, which means there is no scope for creativity. There's no scope for innovation. The fourth C is celebrating uniqueness. Right? Celebrate unique ideas. You know, Alan Mulally is one person who's named every single time we talk about communication or culture. Why? Because that man single-handedly changed how Ford worked. Was a complete turnaround story under his leadership. How did he do that? He just worked on the culture. That's all he did. He ensured that people make as many mistakes as possible. And he created a system where mistakes were celebrated just as much as success was celebrated. Now, when people hear this for the first time, it doesn't fit into their logical bent. Why? Because you think this can encourage complacency. अरे कोई गलती कर रहा है, उसको गलती करने देंगे, हम celebrate करेंगे, वाह वाह, you made a mistake. There is a way to do it, and there is a context that needs to be built for it to be done. Right? So you build a context saying, okay, we are going to dive into brainstorming, and let's just go as silly, stupid, bizarre as possible. And that's when you celebrate that uniqueness, unique ideas, which are making no sense to you right now, but you know there could be a way around it. Or set a context saying that in our weekly reviews, in our monthly reviews, please share your mistakes as much as you're sharing your success stories. And it's okay if you're making mistakes. In fact, I'm looking out for the mistakes you've made, because that's telling me what have you learned last week. If you've not made a mistake, I'm worried if you're learning something. Can we create that kind of a celebration of number of learnings people are coming with as a function of number of mistakes they are making? Please implement to know that it's not just Alan who made it happen for his organization, but any turnaround story will have an element of celebrating failures, celebrating mistakes, because there's no other way to learn. And the fifth C is to come out clean. Yeah, that's the last one I wrote. Come out clean. Talk about your own vulnerabilities. Talk about the mistakes you make yourself. Be comfortable to say, I don't know this. Or you know what, I tried that and that was a terrible idea. I think that went wrong. How can we course correct? What are some of the better suggestions you have? If you don't have the courage to say that as a leader, please don't expect anyone else to have that trust in you, no matter how hard you try. Because ultimately, it's all about what we do and not what we say, isn't it? So here are the 5 C's that can help you to create that space of safety, that can create a deep connection between you and people who work with you. And these connections are lifelong. They're with you forever. And these are the connections that build strong enterprises. So I hope with the leader inside of you that you carry, this message resonates somewhere. And you find this as your own responsibility to create the space of safety and belongingness for people you come in touch with. That could be another way of looking at Raksha Bandhan, sense of protection that you can give not only to your sisters and brothers, but also to the sisters and brothers we work with, we call as family, don't we? In many organizations, I hear this, we are a TCS family, we are an NI family, we are a family. Well, then you have to look out for each other. And to be able to do that, you need to first feel safe with each other, isn't it? Ultimately, that's what we call as family. Family is where we feel the safest. The whole world can look haunting and then we run back to our family, right? Because we know that they will accept us as whoever we are, good, bad, ugly. Can we create that space? That is a true test of leadership. And if you follow these 5 C's, I have no doubt that you will pass this test with flying colors, for sure. It's all about practice because the power is in practice. I would love to hear from you. Which of these 5 C's are you willing to commit to? And please have a follow-up comment on this as well later on as you implement this and you get the results, because the results will not be seen the moment you do it. It will be seen eventually, but surely. And I do hope that you stay on this journey till you see those results, till it becomes a part of you to just bring in that space of safety and belongingness for everyone you lead. With that, we conclude today's satsang session. Thank you so much for joining in. Once again, I wish you all a very, very happy Rakhi. Please take very good care of yourself till I see you next with another important insight in the space of leadership and spirituality.